What's up, Deep Thinkers? It's Robert from Existence First. And I am quite tired right now at the making of this video. However, as I was saying that, I caught myself not practicing what I preach. What I preach is to view fatigue and tiredness as a state of the body and to view yourself as some sort of like separate spirit. So, had I been following my own philosophy, I should have said something like, my body is currently in a tired state. As I'm making this video, my body is currently in a tired state. Okay? Now, it sounds like, oh, I'm just nitpicking the language here, but the language, it's a two-way street here. The language is what comes out, and that is a manifestation of what is inside, here and here. But it also works the other way, where what I say then will be processed by my mind as, oh, he said this, so therefore he believes this, or blah, blah, blah. There's an interesting study that they did on, it's a bit of a tangent, but it's very interesting. Some school was trying to encourage their students to not smoke. And so what they did, well, they tried all of these different campaigns. None of it was working until they did this. They had upper level students, like 12th year students, seniors or whatever, and they had the seniors step in front of a camera and do this sort of they pretended as if they were filming a video for younger students, right? And they asked the seniors to explain why it's not good to smoke. So the seniors explain this process, or explain their reasons, right, why it's not good to smoke. They explain that on camera with the under the premise that this was going to be shown to first year students. Okay, what they found was that this actually did decrease the smoking rate amongst seniors. Okay, so something that they said, right? It's sort of, I believe this was in social psychology, because the phenomenon is called cognitive dissonance. So if you say that you're a certain way, then you subconsciously try to act that way. This is why it's so important to not label yourself, especially in a self-limiting way, right? This question, even this weekend, right? I was out dancing this weekend, and this person and I were talking about introversion and extroversion. And I said, I don't even talk about that anymore. That label doesn't make sense, because it just enacts self-fulfilling prophecy, where you say something, oh, I'm an introvert, and then you then act in accordance with it, which is opposite of my philosophy. Existence First philosophy is you create who you are. You create your own identity through your actions and your decisions, right? You decide your actions, right? Okay, I'm sort of going on a little bit of just going with the flow right here. But there was a point that I wanted to make about all of this. And the point was, it was this. Being true to your own philosophy, living it, right? So I began this video by saying oh, I'm very tired right now, but I'm still doing this video. And then I caught myself, because I should have said, oh, my body is tired, because that's really how I perceive. I like to create that split between the physiology and the subjective experience. Okay. So it's about living. There's way too many people out there that just talk. Yeah, it's better. It's good to do this. It's good to do that. And they don't actually do it. Oh yeah, it's really smart to. You got to invest your money. You got to save. Yeah, save up. You got to save up. And you look at their net worth, and they don't have anything. So actions. It's a cliche, but actions speak louder than words, right? But that's one half of it. Okay, the reason a lot of people don't do it is out of fear, right? And the way to get out of that is to become more of an empiricist. An empiricist means you experiment, right? You try things out to see what happens. It's a whole different frame of mind. Actually, this is pretty significant. If I had my whiteboard here, I'd map it out, right? Over here, empiricism. Over here, it's instead of experimenting, it's just like, it's like hoping and talking the talk, right? And here is walking the walk, right? So in empiricism, you just do stuff and you see what the outcome is, right? There's a lot of benefits to this. Number one, you're more proactive in life. Number two, you force yourself to escape from this entrapment of fear. Fear is what keeps you over here in the hoping category, right? And exemplified by that hypothetical person that goes around saying, yeah, it's good to save money. Yeah, you got to save your money, It's, right? And then they don't have the actions to back that up, right? Charlatans, right? That's the word that comes to mind. Just people that just talk, and just really there's no substance behind it. Well, you know what? I want to live with substance behind me, behind my living, right? I want my living to be, it's actually a thing, right? The living is the demonstration of the values, right? People have all these, like, they write down their little philosophies, or manifestos or whatever, their beliefs on life, and okay, that's all good and great, but it's easy to do that in the safety of your own little, your own little hut with your pen and paper. But how about you actually go out to the real world, actually meet some new people, try a new hobby, learn something new, play a physical contact sport like hockey where you could get really injured and where actually the outcome of the game is on the line and you have to take responsibility for it. Responsibility or ownership. I've been reading this book, or listening to the audiobook Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Very, very good. I highly recommend it. And so it's about taking ownership of your life, right? Responsibility. Responsibility is an existential concept, right? So this responsibility and empiricism. Last story before I close this out. So when I was in high school, okay, there's this memory I just can't shake from my mind, where I think I was like a senior, right? I walk into the science department. This is towards the end of the school year, so you know what the vibe is like. Everything's winding down, people are just preparing for finals, preparing for graduation, blah, blah, blah. I walk into the science department to go say goodbye to my physics teacher, and there's this student there. It's this guy who he was probably like, if not valedictorian, he was close to it, right? I think he went on to study at Oxford or something. And anyways, he was sitting at this desk next to the teacher's desk, and he was like so focused on this little contraption, and he was like doing something, and I was like, "What's up, dude? What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm doing an experiment," and I'm like, "Aren't you done with school? Aren't you done with classes yet?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's not for class. I want to see what happens." That is it. That's right there. I want to see what happens, right? That's an example of someone actually living, right? So compared to all of this, this horrible backwards concept that we have of education, people just sitting in desks being told what to do, like, okay, here's how you prepare for the final, make sure you know these things. Well, so it's so top down and it's so wrong. But here was this guy, instead of from top down, he's going from here, from in out, inwards outwards instead of outside to the inside. He had inside him an innate curiosity, and so he's expressing it. He's doing it by doing this little thing. It's kind of like a little kid that goes and plays with like Legos, or a little kid that like goes out and like captures like caterpillars or something, right? I don't know. You get the idea, okay? Because in that state, you're driven by curiosity, not fear. That's there it is. That's it. Curiosity over fear. Okay. All right. I think I did enough. Social confidence class is no longer running. I'm gonna have to redo it before the next series. Okay. That's local only in San Jose. Spiritual self-defense is every Saturday at 2:00. That's also local, live here. Free workshops on the mind. I dropped some really, really heavy knowledge this weekend. It was very good, so thank you to those who showed up. And then I might be able to start putting it online. I'm going to think about that. But if you have any questions or comments, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Existence First. And you could also comment below on this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and put your existence first.